Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So today we are taking a slightly different direction with our weekly modding video, and I am going to be doing a full showcase on one particular mod. As you can already guess, we are heading into a deep dive of Ridgeside Village. This is a fantastic expansion mod that has an insane amount to offer, a brand new area, and so much more. Now, we have a lot to cover, and this is going to be a long video. So let's get straight into our topics and give you the entire rundown of this mod. So Ridgeside Village is a mod made by creator Rafsees, along with the help of Mama Esh, and I am so sorry if I have butchered those names. And this mod has been around since 2020, which is only a mere 4 years after the game's original release. This town is described best by their slogan, a village at the side of the ridge. As an overall look, this mod adds in over 50 brand new NPCs, including 22 new romanceable candidates. It includes hundreds of new dialogue, over 400 new events, over 50 brand new quests, special orders, daily quests, so many new shops, foraging items, fish, and so much more. This area is an entirely separate area to Stardew Valley, but expect to see some of the new NPCs roaming around Pelican Town, hanging with your favorite base game characters, and so much more. But how do we even access Ridgeside? So to get to this brand new area, all you need to do is leave your farm to where the bus stop is, and behind it you will see some secret stairs. Head on up to those stairs and you will find a cable car to enter. There's even a place for you to leave your horse before you make your way up to the hill. We don't want another Pegasus incident after all. Once you arrive, all you need to do is explore and make yourself at home in this new town. This is going to be one of the larger topics that we cover in this video, so buckle on in. As I said, this is a whole new area and quite a large place to explore. So let's have a look at the map, what shops there are, and where you can find each NPC. But don't worry, we will give a proper overhaul and look into the incredible new NPCs after this. So the primary locations include the ridge, where our cable car is, the hike, where we can find a variety of different foraging items, and then the town with our shops, residences, and more. So let's start off with exploring our shops. So Ridgeside is home to the Heaps General Store, run by Lorenzo and Shanice, and home to them and Lorenzo's younger siblings Anton and Kiara. Despite the name Heaps, he sells everything you can find at Pierre's General Store except for seeds and saplings. However, prices do go down the higher your friendship is with Lorenzo, so this is a really great alternative for things like fertilizer and ingredients. Next up, we have Faye's clothing shop, which also acts as her residence. Faye's shop sells 2 different shirts each day with a rotating stock, and there are so many various and different fun tops that you can purchase. Up next, we have the Blooming Hill Farm, which is run by Jarek and acts as a residence for Jarek and Bryle. This is a seed shop that has 5 randomized seeds and carries 6 stock of each item. Additionally, these are a lot cheaper than you will find at Pierre's, so it is battling the cost versus the quantity. Next on the list, we have the Ninja House, which serves as the base of operation for members of the Dust Corps of the Cult of the Lady with the Red Tail, Gio and Daya. As well, you can find Kiwi in her Junimo hut outside. You can purchase things like apparel and drink items here, and you can also view some quests. Our next super fun place is the Log Cabin Hotel, which is run by Richard and Isabel as a receptionist and resident, as well as home to Flor, June, and Philip. You can rent a room here for the night, as well as host a variety of different events. One of the NPCs, Malaya, will also open up a pastry shop down the line with a variety of different dishes and recipes. Now next for you combat besties, we have Lola's Weapon Shop. This shop stocks a variety of weapons that are not commonly found in the Adventurers Guild, but if they are, you can find them here at a way cheaper price. This is great if you want to get some different, really nice looking swords and weapons that you wouldn't normally find in your base game. Now next up, we have the Nightingale Orchard, which is owned by Alyssa, and later down, parents Kimpoi and Malaya return to live here as well. You can buy a variety of exotic fruit tree saplings here from Kimpoi, and when you increase your friendship and hearts with him, you can get a discount of up to 50%, which is insane for an exotic tree sapling. We are almost at the end of all of our shops, but next we have the Odd Job Services. This is home to Ian and Sean and offers a variety of services for your farm, such as watering crops, fixing fences, and even petting your animals. This is a really great concept for those who wish to spend time elsewhere, and it just auto does it, so you will have to go and manually cancel it if you don't want it to happen anymore, but great for like your beach farm and stuff. stuff. And our last merchant is Pika's restaurant. This of course is run by Pika with employees Kiahi, Corinne, and Faye. This is an outdoor bar that sells a variety of drinks and meals for you to enjoy, as well as a place for all of the NPCs to gather. You could also purchase some recipes to make these goodies back at your home. Now that we have gone over all of our merchants, we have a few public buildings to cover. So to start off, we have two different greenhouses, a community greenhouse as well as the Phantom greenhouse, which are both completed via quests within Ridgeside. The community greenhouse can be found around the center of Ridgeside, whereas your Phantom greenhouse is found within the hike area. We also have the Ridgeside Village office, home to Lenny, and our main quest board. This is also where you can find any help wanted quests and special orders. Next, Paula runs and resides in our Ridgeside clinic, where you can pay 500 gold to restore your health or stamina to full. Considering how expensive food can be, that is so cheap. Next to Pika's restaurant, we also have the Starbound stage, where we can see Sam's band performing. Otherwise, it does normally tend to sit empty. And lastly, we have our water research facility and laboratory, which is owned by Mr. Aguiar with Maddie as an employee. So lastly, just to cover it all, let's showcase our residences. Most of these we have gone over, as residents live in another space in the shop they run, but some have a place of their own. So let's quickly run over it all. To start off, we have the Akina residence, which is home to Pika and his son Kiahi. The Amathine mansion is next, home to Maeve, Sunny, Araya, Irene, Louie, and Zane. The Bladebane residence is where married couple Freddie and Lola reside. We have the Blooming Hill farm, which is home to Jarek and Ryle. Daniel's residence, where Ezekiel and his daughter Corinne live. The electrician's house is where you can find Kenneth and on occasion a little robot. The Kobayashi residence is home to Shiro, Yuma, and Naomi. And the Legame residence is the floor above the Heaps General Store, where couple Lorenzo and Shanice live with Lorenzo's siblings Anton and Kiara. The Leiden residence is where you can find Bert and Olga, as well as their daughter Trini. And the Nightingale Orchard is where Alyssa and her parents Kimpoy and Malaya reside. The Ninja House is where you will find Gio and Daya, as well as Kiwi in her Junimo hut outside. The Pickens residence is home to Maddie. The Rivera residence is where Carmen and Blair can be found. The Amazing Torts residence is where you can find Torts the village turtle. And lastly, of course, Faye can be found at her clothing shop. This was a lot to cover, and these are our primary locations and area for Ridgeside Village. Ridgeside Village truly plays home to a wonderful variety of different merchants, different homes, and so many characters. But anyway, let's go over all of our characters and give you a brief little introduction to them. So let's have a quick look at all of our characters before breaking it down. To start us off, we have 14 marriageable characters and 8 special marriage candidates who can be unlocked via a variety of quests or further down the line. So let's start off with our bachelors. Firstly, we have Ian, who is one of the employees at the Odd Job Services. He's a very hardworking and kind man who moved to Ridgeside a year or two before the farmer arrived in the valley. He can often be seen working across town at all various hours of the day. Next up, we have Jarek, who is the owner of the Blooming Hill farm and runs his shop there. He can be described as a bit of a playboy and has a taste for fashion. He does also very heavily flirt with you. Next up, we have June, who is a traveling pianist who you can find playing at the Log Cabin Hotel lobby during fall and winter. However, during the warmer seasons, he leaves town to work in a different location. Next up, we have Kenneth, who is an electrician and can be found going around Ridgeside and also Pelican Town checking and fixing up electronics. He's always sussing out all of the lights within Pelican Town, so you definitely cannot miss him. Next up, we have Philip, who is a physical therapist who resides at the Log Cabin Hotel while on assignment. He is super passionate about his work, but also has a secret geeky side to him. Next up, we have Sean, who alongside Ian also works at the Odd Job Services. He is a no work or play kind of guy who moved to Ridgeside a year or two before the farmer arrived in the valley. He loves to pull pranks, make puns, and generally doing his best to make people laugh. And lastly, for our bachelors, we have Shiro. So Shiro lives in Ridgeside after having received a major injury during his military service that left him physically disabled. A really cool thing about him as well is that you can't actually marry him before the end of year 1, as he will reject any marriage proposal from the player before a particular character returns to the village. So those are all of our bachelors, so let's head into some of our gorgeous bachelorettes. So first up, we have Alyssa, who works at the Nightingale Orchard. She does, however, have a secret passion for singing and songwriting and can be seen in a lot of her cutscenes. Next, we have the wonderful Blair. She is known for her very playful and sometimes childish attitude towards things. However, one can often tell that there is something that is bothering her. Up next, we have Corinne, who is a waitress at Pika's restaurant. Corinne dreams of one day finding her calling. However, she does not know what that may end up being. Next up, we have Flor. So Flor is a psychologist who is very passionate about her field, but is not the greatest with social interactions. She often fluctuates between a very shy or rambling on about topics that she knows so much about. And as well, you can see her with Penny a lot in Pelican Town. Next up, we have Kiara, who is a freelance graphic designer who happens to be quite rebellious and outspoken in her beliefs. She has a really strong distaste for JoJoCo, and if you go down the JoJo path and complete the JoJo warehouse, she will actually fully reject your proposal and you cannot marry her. She takes that distaste seriously. Next up, we have the wonderful Maddie. So Maddie comes off as a super serious and easily irritated character. However, this is mostly a defense mechanism and she's actually very sweet and loves cute things. And lastly, for our bachelorettes, we have Isabel. She's a former ballerina who now finds herself working as a receptionist at the Log Cabin Hotel. That was a brief go over our bachelors and bachelorettes. However, we do have, as I said before, a few special marriage candidates which can be unlocked a little later. So firstly, we have Anton. So Anton is Paula's best friend and a former architect who is living with his family as he tries to get back onto his feet after leaving his job. Our next special marriage candidate is Bryle. So Bryle is the longtime friend of Jarek who will sometimes come to Ridgeside Village to visit him. And currently he works as a bodyguard for the governor. Next up, we have Daya. She is a mysterious ninja who is a member of the cult of the lady with the red tail. She is unusually sociable and flirty considering her occupation. And she also has quite a bit of knowledge in scientific fields such as geology. Next, we have Faye, who we know is a waitress at Pika's restaurant, but also is a fashion designer where you can purchase some clothes from her throughout the year. Next on the list, we have Irene, and she is the personal chef of the Amathine family. She loves the art of cooking and is always on the lookout for new recipes and ways to improve on her skills. Next up, we have Gio, who is a mysterious ninja that lives on the outskirts of Ridgeside Village. He is very serious and secretive about whatever his mission is, with most residents of Ridgeside not even knowing he is there. Almost at the end, but we have up next Paula. She's an army medic who was recently assigned to work at the Ridgeside Clinic, which allowed her to return to her hometown. And lastly, we have Zane, who is a member of the Amathine family who sometimes comes to visit the mansion in the village. He is currently an ambassador representing the Ferngul Republic and is lined up as the future head of the Amathine family. Okay, those were all of our characters that we could possibly marry. That is the hard choice of choosing one, and I do love the special marriage candidates options as a way that you have to complete a new quest and then you can choose to marry them. Anyway, next we're going to go through all of our non-marriage candidates. So starting us off, we have Bert. So he lives in the southern end of the town with his wife Olga and daughter Trini. He's a happy-go-lucky man who is always looking for whales to spoil his family, especially his daughter. Up next is Carmen, who is a fisherwoman who lives in the village. However, most of her days are spent fishing at the beach in good old Pelican Town. Next up, we have Ezekiel. He's a veteran of the Ferngul Republic Army and is known around town to be a bit grumpy, but very proud of himself. Next, we have Freddie, who lives alongside his wife Lola at the Bladebane residence. He's a cheerful old man who likes to chat and tell stories of his old adventuring days. Next, we have Kimpoi, who is a villager that returns to Ridgeside along with his wife about a month after the farmer and after being away on some sort of worldwide adventure for many years. He also does open a shop in the Nightingale Orchard where he sells some exotic fruit tree saplings. Next up, we have the super cute Kiwi, who is a mysterious Junimo ninja. She is quite different from normal Junimos, showing a penchant for violence and a desire to stab things. Next, we have the wonderful Lenny. She is the town's chief administrator, however, is very laid back and some would even call her immature. She does still take her job super seriously and tries her best to make all of the residents happy. And additionally, as a fun little note, she is actually Lewis's older sister. Next, we have Lola, who you can find living alongside her husband Freddie at the Bladebane residence. She's usually on the quiet side, but easily becomes quite talkative when on the subjects of adventures and monster slaying. Next, we have Lorenzo, who operates the Heaps convenience store alongside his wife Shanice, and he took over the shop after the passing of his parents and is the oldest of the 3 legacy game's siblings. Next, we have Maeve, who is the matriarch of the wealthy Amethine family. She and her family recently moved there to escape the busy city life and is yet still one of the most powerful and influential people in the country. Do not want to get on her bad side. Next, we have Malaya, who is Kimpoi's wife. And again, you'll be introduced to her about a month into the game when she returns from being away on some sort of worldwide adventure. She will also additionally run the pastry shop in the second year of the game. Next, we have Mr. Aguiar, who is a scientist who lives and works out of the water research facility. He's more than what he seems, however, as his basement contains a secret. Next, we have Naomi. Now, Naomi returns to Ridgeside a year after the farmer arrives, as she was previously working abroad with her husband. Upon her return is when she assists Richard to expand the log cabin hotel to include a pastry shop and the event hall. Next, we have the amazing Olga, who lives at the southern end of town with her husband Bert and her daughter Trini. Although she can seem harsh at times, it is always only out of love and concern for her family. Up next, we have Pika, who is the owner of Pika's restaurant, which is the local eatery. He works hard to support his son Kiahi, but struggles wondering whether he's really doing a good job of it. Next, we have Richard, who owns and operates and also lives in the log cabin hotel. He is known to be very polite and very courteous to his guests. Next, we have Shanice, who assists in operating the Heaps convenience store with her husband Lorenzo. She's a former teacher and does a lot of the logistical work that keeps the store running. Next up, we have Sonny, who is the butler working for the Amethine family. He is a loyal and dutiful worker and maintains his own garden when not attending to the Amethine's needs. And lastly, for our non-marriage candidates, we have Torts. Torts is a wild turtle who has taken up residence at the pond next to the Akina residence. Although he doesn't belong to any one person, the neighborhood children, however, Yuma, Trini, and Kiahi specifically, have all decided to take care of him. So that was it for all of our non-marriage candidates. However, we do have what I think is really cool, but a few more children into the game. Obviously in Stardew Valley, we only have the two kids, Jazz and Vincent. I love that we can have some more kids in the game for them to play with. So starting us off, we have Araya, who is a member of the Amethine family. She spends nearly all her time dutifully studying in order to eventually become a lawyer and therefore doesn't really get many chances to leave the mansion to socialize. Next, we have Bliss, who is a young orphan girl who has been a part of the cult of the lady with the red tail since not long after her birth. She is quiet, serious, and diligent with her duties, which is really odd for such a young child. Next up, we have the very cute Kiahi. He is the son of Pika and is known around town as a very energetic and tenacious prankster. Sometimes his pranks do cross the line, but he shows promise as a chef and eventual successor to his father. Next up, we have the sweet Louis, who is a member of the Amethine family. He is known as a bit of a spoiled brat, having high standards and often getting annoyed by others attempting to speak to him. Next on our list, we have Peepo, who is a young elven boy originally from the Kingdom of Verd. He and his mother Sari have been searching far and wide for the missing princess of their kingdom, which is a journey that has brought them to the wonderful Ridgeside Village. Next, we have the very cute Trini, who is the young daughter of Bert and Olga. She enjoys playing with the other kids around town and also loves to take care of plants, even going so far as to give a name to each one under her care. Next, we have Andrea, who is a mischievous young girl who lives in the abandoned house that sits on the hike trail. However, you can find her hiding in random spots throughout the village and also Pelican Town. And lastly, we have Yuma. He is the quite younger brother of Shiro and is more often seen running errands than playing. So that was it for all of our children NPCs. Now I only have 5 more to cover, and these are our non-giftable NPCs. Let's get on to it. Firstly, we have Belinda, who is a mysterious woman who goes by the title of Seer. A person with powerful magic and a group of dedicated followers, she is a force to be reckoned with. It is very difficult to know exactly what her intentions are. Next on the list, we have Helen, who is a high-ranking member of the Cult of the Lady with the Red Tail. She's often away carrying out tasks for the cult, but sometimes you can find her at the Ninja House. Next, we have a super cute one. This is Little Acorn, who is a friendly Junimo originally from the Elven Kingdom of Verd. However, his recent travels have brought him to Ridgeside Village. Next, we have Ray Riala, who is the spirit of the mountains who resides at the Ridge Falls. Although she is not normally visible to humans, some locals do consider her a messenger of Yoba and worship her as a sub-deity. She has a strong connection to nature and is responsible for the safety of the ridge, protecting it against the forces of evil. And lastly, we have Sari, who is an elven woman who was originally from the Kingdom of Erd. She and her son Pipo have been searching far and wide for the missing princess of their kingdom. That was a lot of characters to go over, and I do want to say I'm sorry if I butchered anyone's names. So now that we have covered all of those characters, let's cover all of the quests. So you can have a few different male quests with some large reward, but also have a few requirements. These are just your requests for items that characters are seeking. We also have our long list of help wanted quests that can be accessed in the village admin, which have an unlimited time frame and you can do multiple quests at once. There are 26 different quests to complete, which result in gold as well as friendship on certain quests. Next up we have the special orders, which will appear on 4/3 of year 1, following Pelican Town's special board scene. These quests, however, do have time limits with 18 different quests to complete. And lastly, and most importantly, we have our Ridgeside story quest. These build the story of Ridgeside Village and do also have no expiry time on it. These are things that cover our greenhouse, the minecarts, portals, and so much more. These are so crucial to the growing storyline of Ridgeside and have many secrets to unfold. With 16 different story quests, there is a lot of content to cover. I don't want to get too into the quests because I feel like it is so much fun to just be able to play those. So definitely recommend checking them out. And then lastly, if this wasn't enough, there is also a large variety of new items in the game, from new fish to food items, new apparel to new foraging items, and so much more. There are also various Ridgeside Village exclusive monsters such as a Viperal, a Corrupt Spirit, and Wraith. I could be here for another hour talking about all of the items individually, so we're going to leave it at that. Ridgeside Village is a fantastic mod. This mod not only adds in a brand new aspect of gameplay to your save, but it just adds in a brand new adventure for you to enjoy. You can add in Ridgeside Village at any point in your playthrough, regardless if you're year 1, year 5. However, I do recommend, and so does the creator, to start this on a brand new save so that you can enjoy it to the fullest. Just know that if you do start on an old save, that you might just get bombarded with the good old cutscenes. Now, I cannot talk highly enough about this mod. If you watch a lot of the videos on my channel, you will know that I'm currently playing a big old Stardew Valley Mega Expanded playthrough that has Stardew Valley Expanded, Ridgeside Village, Escarp, Downtown Zuzu, and some other variety expansion mods. And Ridgeside has definitely been the mod that has really just like captured my interest the most. I think to see so many new characters, new aspects, new incredible stories and everything in the game has just really re-piqued my interest and love for this game. Now, of course, we're just going to end it off on a little bit of those sort of frequently asked questions, the information, everything, before you fly away and download this mod on your own. As always, all of the mods that I talk about are all downloadable through Nexus Mods. There's a fantastic site that is home to thousands of different mods. Additionally, if you're like me and like to play with more than one expansion mod, this is compatible with Stardew Valley Expanded, mods like Escarp, Downtown Zuzu, and more. It is honestly quite compatible with a lot of other mods, considering the fact that it really is a different area, so it barely touches any of the vanilla or base game assets. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you have played Ridgeside Village, what was your favorite aspect about it? If you're gonna go download it right now. And also if there is another expansion related mod that you would like me to do a full deep dive into, just like this one. I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Of course, it was a little bit different than my sort of big modding related stuff with lots of various mods. However, I loved deep diving into Ridgeside Village with you guys and being able to share and showcase a lot of information. As always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch all of you guys on the next one. Bye everybody.